You have spent years dutifully taking calcium supplements, following every piece of medical advice, and obsessing over your diet, yet your bones remain dangerously fragile. Why is this happening? It is because nobody has revealed the absolute truth regarding a staple food you consume daily that is silently leaching the calcium out of your skeleton. Today I am going to reveal this culprit and provide the 5 exact steps to stop this destruction immediately. Stay until the end, because in step 3, I will explain why the calcium you ingest is currently being flushed out through your urine without ever reaching your bones, and how you can correct this today. For over 20 years, I have treated individuals over 50 suffering from osteoporosis, fractures caused by minimal impact, and chronic bone pain. In 90% of those cases, the problem originated from the same source, a food that nobody had pointed out as the culprit. That is exactly what we are discussing today. Before we dive in, ask yourself these questions. Are you 3 or 4 centimeters shorter than you were 15 years ago? Does your back hunch over even when you try to stand straight? Does your lower back ache when you carry heavy bags or stand for long periods? Do your knees crack when you bend down? Do you find it difficult to get up from a chair without using your arms for support? If you answered yes to 2 or more, your bones are losing density right now. The gravest issue is that this process does not hurt. You can lose 30 or 40% of your bone mass while feeling relatively fine until one day you fall in the bathroom or trip on the street and hear that sickening crunch that nobody ever wants to hear. After 60, a hip fracture is not a simple inconvenience. 25% of people who suffer one do not survive the first year, and half never walk independently again. I am not telling you this to scare you. I am telling you because what we are discussing today is urgent. The food that is destroying your bones is not sold at a pharmacy. It is something you were told your entire life that you needed for strong bones. It is recommended by doctors, featured in television commercials, and promoted in nutrition guides worldwide. That food is the excess of animal protein: beef, chicken, pork, fish, eggs, milk, and cheese. I am not saying these are poison in themselves. I am telling you that the excess, the amount you eat at every meal of the day, is what destroys your bones without you realizing it. You are probably thinking, but I was always told that meat and milk were good for bones. That is exactly the problem. What you were told was incomplete, and that missing part has cost you bone density for years. Let me explain this in simple words, as if we were in my office. When you eat animal protein, your body breaks it down into amino acids. Some, especially those containing sulfur, create an acidic environment in your blood. Here is where the trouble begins. Your blood must maintain a very precise acidity level. If it is altered, your body enters emergency mode and seeks something to neutralize that acid. What it uses is calcium, because calcium is alkaline and neutralizes acids. And where does it get it? It comes from your bones, which are the largest deposit of calcium you have. When you eat a large portion of meat, your blood acidifies, and your body goes straight to your bones, extracts calcium and neutralizes the acid. Problem solved, right? But that calcium does not return. It is eliminated through urine and lost forever. This does not happen just once. It happens at every meal with excess animal protein, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, day after day. This represents decades of silent loss that nobody was telling you about. Now comes the most ironic part. Milk does contain calcium. That is real, but it also contains dairy protein that acidifies your blood just like meat. Therefore, your body pulls calcium from your bones to neutralize that acidity. In the end, you lose more calcium than you gained from the glass of milk. The countries with the highest consumption of dairy, the United States, Norway, Sweden, and Finland, are also those with the highest rates of osteoporosis and hip fractures. Meanwhile, in Japan and China, where historically very little dairy was consumed, people had stronger bones in old age. Researchers call this the calcium paradox. You consume calcium, yet your bones weaken. It does not matter how much you eat. What matters is how much stays in your bones. Excess animal protein causes you to lose more than you can retain. That is why 75% of older people taking calcium supplements see no real improvement. The problem is not a lack of calcium in the diet. It is the silent thief that pulls it from the bones every day. Your bones are not dead matter. They are living tissue that constantly renews itself. Osteoblasts build new bone, while osteoclasts remove old bone. In a healthy person, they work in perfect balance. But with excess animal protein, the acidic environment overactivates the osteoclasts. They destroy bone to release calcium quickly. They dissolve the bone from the inside out. The calcium neutralizes the acid, solving the immediate problem, but the destroyed bone takes months to rebuild, if it ever does. After 50, osteoblasts no longer work as fast. You destroy more bone than you can reconstruct, and over time your bones become hollow inside, like a building with bricks removed every day. From the outside it looks the same, but inside it can no longer withstand an impact. Excess protein is enough of a problem, but other habits multiply the damage. Too much salt causes you to lose calcium through urine. More than 2 cups of coffee a day block calcium absorption. Cola sodas deteriorate bone with phosphoric acid. Smoking reduces bone density 15% faster. A sedentary lifestyle weakens bones because they need pressure to stay strong. And without vitamin D, you cannot absorb calcium even if you are eating it. If you are a woman past menopause, the drop in estrogen significantly accelerates bone loss. Combine all that with excess animal protein, and you will understand why there are so many people aged 65 with serious fractures. It is not bad luck, it is the result of years accumulating damage without knowing it. There is very good news. If you start today, you can stop that deterioration and recover bone density. You will not return to the bones you had at 30, but you can regain enough strength to walk on your own at 70, 80 or 90 years old, without a cane, without a walker, and with real independence. Here are the 5 steps. Apply them all because each fulfills a different function, and they enhance each other. Step 1. Reduce animal protein to a safe amount for your bones. I am not asking you to stop eating meat forever. I am asking you to reduce the amount to a level your body can handle without sacrificing your bone calcium. In the typical diet of an older person, animal protein is in every meal. Eggs with ham for breakfast, chicken or beef for lunch, cheese at dinner. This easily reaches 150 or 180 grams of animal protein a day. Do you know how much you actually need after 50? Between 50 and 70 grams of total protein per day. Not just animal, but total. Everything above that is excess, that acidifies your blood and steals calcium. The practical rule is this: only 1 serving of animal protein per day, the size of the palm of your hand. It can be a small chicken breast, a medium fish fillet, or 2 eggs just once a day, not at every meal. You get the rest of your protein from plant sources: beans, lentils, chickpeas, quinoa, and peas. Plant protein does not acidify your blood in the same way. On the contrary, it has an alkalizing effect that protects your bones instead of robbing them. Do not worry about running out of protein. With a varied plant-based diet and 1 small serving of meat daily, you have more than enough. Step 2. Fill your plate with foods that protect and strengthen bones. The rule is very simple. 70% of your plate should be plant-based foods. Only 30% can be animal protein. With that proportion, your blood stays in balance and your bones stop losing calcium constantly. The foods that help you most are green leafy vegetables: spinach, chard, kale, and broccoli. They have calcium that the body uses well and magnesium that strengthens the bone structure. Fruits, especially apples, pears, bananas, and papaya, are excellent. Lemon, although it tastes acidic, acts as an alkaline inside the body and helps neutralize acidity. Sesame seeds, chia, and almonds are full of plant calcium. Tubers like potatoes, sweet potatoes, and cassava help maintain pH balance in the blood. Legumes like beans and lentils give you protein without acidification. You find these foods in any market. They are not expensive or difficult to prepare. They are your daily bone medicine. Step 3. The supplements that actually make a difference. Remember I said the calcium you take might be going out in your urine? Here is why. The problem is not the calcium itself. Without specific nutrients, calcium cannot enter the bone. It stays circulating in the blood and the body eliminates it. This is why people take calcium for years while their bones get worse. The first supplement you need is vitamin D3. Without it, your intestine cannot absorb the calcium you eat. Even if your diet is perfect, without vitamin D, calcium simply does not enter. The recommended dose is 2,000 to 4,000 international units per day. Make sure it is D3, not D2. D3 is the form the human body actually utilizes. The second is vitamin K2. This is the great unknown. K2 is what guides calcium into the bones and away from the arteries. Without K2, calcium can deposit in arteries and soft tissues instead of reaching where it should. The dose is 100 to 200 micrograms. The third is magnesium. 60% of your body's magnesium is in the bones. Without enough magnesium, calcium cannot be fixed correctly in the bone structure. You need between 400 and 500 milligrams daily. Magnesium citrate is the best form absorbed by the body. Use calcium supplements with caution. If you are eating green leafy vegetables daily, you probably do not need a pill. But if your diet is low in calcium, use calcium citrate, not carbonate. Citrate is absorbed better. Do not take more than 500 milligrams at a time, and always take it with vitamin D3 and K2. Never alone, because without those two companions, it does not reach its destination. Step 4. The exercise that truly rebuilds bone. This is the step most people want to avoid, and it is the one you cannot skip if you want to recover bone. Your bones strengthen when you put weight on them, when you use them, and when you press them. If you spend most of the day sitting, your bones have no reason to stay dense. It is a basic biological law. Use it or lose it. The good news is that you do not need a gym or heavy weights. You need weight-bearing exercises adapted to your age. Walking fast 30 minutes a day. Not a quiet stroll, but a firm pace with rhythm that makes your bones work. Climb stairs when you have the chance, because that impact directly strengthens leg and hip bones. Dance any style where you stay on your feet. Do squats while supporting yourself on a chair back to strengthen the femur and hip. Use light weights of 2 or 3 kilograms for your arms and spine. If you are over 70 or have diagnosed osteoporosis, avoid jumping or running on hard surfaces. But do walk. Do light weights, preferably supervised at the beginning, 4 times a week for at least 30 minutes. Exercise activates osteoblasts, those bone-building cells, and sends them the signal they need. There is pressure, there is a load, we need stronger bone here. They respond week by week and month by month, bone density recovers. You can take all the supplements in the world, but if you do not move your body, your bones will not strengthen. Movement is mandatory. Step 5. Eliminate other calcium thieves. You already know the main enemy is excess animal protein, but other habits work alongside that poison and must be cut. Excess salt, maximum 1 teaspoon per day. Excess sodium makes calcium go straight into the urine without passing through the bones. Excess coffee, maximum 2 cups per day. Caffeine interferes with calcium absorption in the intestines. Eliminate sodas, especially colas. The phosphoric acid they contain deteriorates the bone directly and blocks calcium absorption. Alcohol affects the absorption of calcium and vitamin D, 2 pillars of bone health. And cigarettes. If you smoke, every cigarette you light is accelerating bone density loss. Studies show that smokers lose bone 15% faster. These are not secondary, unimportant poisons. Each one separately causes damage. Combined with excess animal protein, bone deterioration multiplies. You do not have time or spare bones to keep carrying all these habits. Start cutting them one by one. Beginning today. Let's review everything together, because I want you to leave with this very clear. The poison destroying your bones is excess animal protein. It acidifies the blood and forces the body to pull calcium from the bones to neutralize that acid. That calcium is lost through urine and does not return. That is why your bones weaken even if you take calcium pills. If the poison remains active, the calcium never arrives where it needs to go. To stop it and begin recovering your bones, you have 5 clear steps. First, reduce animal protein to a single portion the size of your palm once a day. Second, fill 70% of your plate with plant-based foods that alkalize the blood and protect the bones. Third, supplement with vitamin D3, vitamin K2, and magnesium constantly. Fourth, do weight-bearing exercise 4 times a week. Fast walking, climbing stairs, or light weights. Fifth, eliminate secondary calcium thieves. Less salt, less coffee, no sodas, no alcohol, and no cigarettes. If you apply these 5 steps for 6 months consistently, you will notice real changes. Less joint pain, better posture, and more energy. If you have a bone densitometry test after that time, you will see your bones are responding. It is not magic, it is biology. It is giving the body what it needs and removing what damages it. I want you to understand something more about this process. The human body has a capacity for recovery that we sometimes underestimate. It does not matter how much damage you accumulated in recent years, because the moment you stop acidifying your blood with excess animal protein, the osteoclasts stop receiving that constant emergency signal. The looting of calcium stops, and the osteoblasts, those building cells that were working at a disadvantage, begin to regain ground. It is slow, yes, but real and measurable. Month by month, your body consolidates new bone, where before there was only loss. I want to leave you with something important. Having weak bones at 60, 70, or 80 is not inevitable. It is not something that happened to you simply because you aged. It is the result of years consuming a poison without knowing it was one. But now you know, and that changes everything. Many patients arrived at my clinic, convinced there was nothing left to do, with advanced osteoporosis diagnosis, fear of walking alone, and constant pain. After applying these 5 steps consistently, they regained mobility, confidence, and independence. This was not because they did something extraordinary, but because they stopped hurting their bodies and started treating them as they deserve. You can too. It does not matter how old you are or if you are already diagnosed with osteoporosis. It is always better to start today than to wait for tomorrow. Every day you act is a day you return strength to your body. Every portion of meat you reduce is calcium that stays in your bones. Every 30-minute walk is a message you send to your cells. I need you to be stronger. And they respond. Do not wait for a fracture to take action. Do not wait for a doctor to tell you it is too late. Start today. Reduce meat, add more plants, take your vitamins and move your body. In 6 months, you will look in the mirror and feel the difference. You will walk more securely and move with more confidence. You will reach 80 and 90 walking on your own feet with dignity and health. And one more thing I want you to remember. This is not a change you make only for yourself. When you are strong, when you can walk without help, and when you do not depend on anyone to live your life, you also protect the people who love you. A serious fracture does not just affect you, it affects your family, your children, and your partner. Staying strong is also a way to take care of them. If this information opened your eyes about what was happening to your bones, like this video right now, that indicates to the platform that this information is valuable, bringing it to more seniors who need it today. Subscribe and activate the bell. Every day I publish videos on natural health for older adults, how to prevent diseases, strengthen the body and live more years with real quality of life. This is information that pharmaceutical laboratories might prefer you didn't know, because if you take care of your health naturally, you do not need their expensive medications. Tell me in the comments, how many times a day were you eating animal protein before seeing this? Did you realize it was too much? Write it below. I read all comments and respond when I can. If you want a complete 30-day plan to strengthen your bones with daily menus, simple recipes and exercises adapted for those over 50, check the link in the description. It is a protocol designed for people with osteoporosis or osteopenia. Click and start today. And before you go, share this with someone over 60 who needs it. Sometimes sharing is the greatest act of love we can provide. Take care of your bones,